Okay, I'm starting with the recording for today's meeting, okay? I always forget about this. And there is a message in the chat. All right, I'm going to turn off my camera, so perhaps you can listen to me better. Thank you, Sergio, for the suggestion, okay? So this is something that we've already discussed, okay? We were talking about Molina Campos, teaching sequence, and how CLIL can be contextualized for our classes, okay? Now, what I would like you to tell me if what you feel about it. If you are comfortable, if you read these handouts, right? If you've analyzed the teaching sequence and if you read the handouts, the 6 C's by Stoller, remember that we discussed it last class. And then we are going to see what to do with this task here, okay? But I would like your input, your perceptions, right? How you're doing with that. Just tell me.
I have a question, Anna.
Okay, Cami.
I couldn't get the difference between threads and transitions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right. Any other? Okay, the idea is that transitions, right? Transitions are you can have text or themes or text transitions and task transitions, right? That means when from one task to another, there is this seamless process, right? It's not like one day or one class you deal with one activity and then another and then another, and they are not linked, right? They need to be linked. There should be a transition from from task to task, all right? So if you are, for example, dealing with reading comprehension, then you would deal with, I don't know, writing. You would ask them to write, and that writing is going to be articulated, contextualized, related to the reading, okay? There should be some kind of link there. The same thing with a listening or a speaking task, okay? The whole project should be a unit, all right? It should be a whole. That's on one, I mean, that's about task transition. And then the text transition or the themes transition, okay? There should be some kind of unity there. Okay, Camille? Yes?
Yes, yes.
All right. Now, what happens with threads, right? What happens with threads? We said the other day that one of the threads might be, right, if we are discussing Molina Campos' life and all these, I mean, in this a series of teaching sequences in this project, one of the threads would be raising students' awareness of one's own culture and roots, right? And helping them to try to identify their uniqueness in contrast with others, for example. So that is a thread. That means the thread is an abstract idea that starts at the beginning of the teaching sequence or project and finishes at the end, okay? That is the thread. The thread is a kind of invisible thread, right? An invisible string, right? An idea that puts the whole teaching sequence or project together. Is it a little bit clearer, right? Now, remember,
Yes.
it is abstract. if we were discussing, for example, as now we are going to discuss. Yes, Cami, I listen to you. Now I don't listen to you.
I know that maybe it's more general. Maybe you can link between different subjects.
Exactly.
I mean the threads.
Exactly. And they are more generally, and they are abstracts, right? They are abstract ideas, all right? Like, for example, were you able to analyze these, the activities chosen by Ruben? Okay. This is the outline, right? Ruben,
Sorry, Anna, I couldn't.
okay.
No.
All right, so then
Yes.
you need, in order to understand what we are going to do, you need to read this, okay? So,
Okay.
all right, so this is, I mean, remember that I always talk about a book that it's called 500 activities for the primary school classroom, right? This book is by Carol Reed, right, 2007, and there you are going to find these outline, so this outline or layout, right? So Ruben used this layout for his project, right? And he used some of the activities that were suggested by Reed, right? So remember, he's using the theme bugs, right? And of course, as this is a CLIL class, he used art and craft, drama, language, science, ICT and multimedia, math and music, right? As contents, right? He is integrating, and we are going to see here, he's integrating content, language, and learning strategies. So, for example, here, this is the mini quest. Of course, you have all the procedures, the materials you are going to, or Ruben used, language focus, as you see, any, right, depending on the topic, then the procedure, and then another activity, the bug world. The aim is to classify bugs according to observable features, right? To explore and discuss alternative ways of classifying bugs, right? And this is done in groups, right? To collaborate in groups. You have the linguistic exponents here described and the materials, right? And so he has this poster, right? And so he helps kids classify bugs according to the number of legs, right? For example, so no legs, 6 legs, 8 legs, more than 10 legs. So what subjects from the curriculum design are included here? What do you think?
Maths.
Math, definitely, because kids have to count. Right, exactly, math. What else?
Natural science.
Definitely natural science. So you see, and definitely English, right? With all the lexicogrammatical exponents, right, that come from English when you need to talk about bugs and count and all that. So definitely. And here, for example, let's see, this activity has to do with structured paragraphs, right? The kids have to, of course, after a procedure where there is a lot of scaffolding, right? The kids write their paragraphs, right? And they have a whipped scorpion and a tarantula, right? So they have to write paragraphs. So what subject from the curriculum design are they working with? Here.
Language or
Language,
prácticas cursivas.
exactly. That would be prácticas del lenguaje, right? So in that way, you as a teacher of English, you need to discuss this with the NG teacher, I mean, con la maestra de grado. You need to be in touch with them to see if both of you together can work with paragraph organization, how to structure a paragraph. Very simple one, right? But you are also working here with images, okay? And then after classifying, right, the bugs, insects, and all that, this idea of mini quest, looking for, right, kind of searching, investigating, and all that, then classifying the bags, writing a paragraph. You see that there is a unity in here, right? There is a transition. There's task transition here, right? After that, they have to make a book, right? They have to make a book. And so they do something like that. Very simple. It doesn't have to be an encyclopedia. It has to, I mean, just very simple. So kids finish by designing a book, right? So they wrote, so they did research, okay? They synthesized their information, they classified, they wrote paragraphs. Of course, definitely you would ask them to draw, right? Or work with images too. And then the idea of organizational knowledge. Remember when we discussed the book, I Love You Through and Through, right? Where to, I'm sorry, I feel that I'm moving all my hands and all that. The idea of where to express content, right? How you organize, how is it that you organize a book? So students need to know how or the characteristics of the cover of the book and the back cover of the book. So there you are working with genres, book as a genre, okay? So what kind of information should they write in the front cover? What kind of information should they write on the back cover? Okay, and what about the paragraphs? Where would they place the paragraph and the images? Why? Okay, so all that has to be taught and scaffolded, all right? We cannot just say, okay, now you write a paragraph. How? Now you prepare or design a book. How? All right? So this is the teaching sequence. I'm giving you this, people, because I know how difficult it is sometimes to come up with examples of clear classes, right, for us in our context. Now, these people, this was put into practice. Ruben is a friend of mine. He exists, and he's an excellent teacher, and he did that in a rural school in La Plata, where he has kids, right, with 4th and 5th grade together, right? He has all the kids together, and sometimes they miss classes, and he doesn't have all the kids together all the time, so it's very difficult, but he did it, and kids were delighted. They were delighted to have that. They love their English classes, okay? So you see how, I mean, I just wanted to show you how possible, I mean, how possible and how important it is to be knowledgeable enough to design these classes, okay? You can work with CLIL here in Argentina. Now, it's not any CLIL class. It's a type of CLIL, right, contextualized for the province of Buenos Aires, and in our case, for the districts we are working in, all right? It's not the same to teach in Navarro or in Luján City, okay? Or in Pilar, or in a private school within the same city, okay? So we need to be knowledgeable enough to make decisions, to come up with these kind of teaching sequences, all right? Yes? Now, this was designed for kids, right? 4th and 5th grade. What about adolescents? How do you think, just let's start talking right among ourselves. How do you think that we can better, or let's see, change it to deal with adolescents? Let's see, first year, second year of secondary school. What do you think? What other tasks can we design?
Social media, I don't know.
Okay, can you enlarge a little bit, Santi?
Maybe just make I don't know an Instagram fan page. I don't know if about bugs, but just about a certain theme or topic that they are dealing with,
Mm-hmm.
and just I don't know, have the page grow with interesting content and finding hashtags, sorry, that are related to the topic, creating group chats with other
Okay,
people and
all right.
find research for
Okay,
other.
good, Santi. Now, first of all, what is important is to try to, first of all, you need to be sure that they have the means, the
Yeah.
technological means, definitely. But then be careful, the content is also important,
Mm,
right? Because, well, I mean, we can do that. I mean, your proposal is wonderful, right? And we can do that if we talk about, I don't know, celebrities, right?
mm,
Celebrities, right? Let's talk about Brad Pitt, or let's talk about football uh, um, heroes like Messi and Maradona and Ronaldinho, and I don't know who, I mean, the most famous ones. These are the only ones I know. And so my question is, what is the purpose of talking about football players? Because if we do not give a thread, if we do not give thread to that, that would be wishy-washy. So what would be like there, if we are going to talk about football players and football as a game, perhaps we need to talk with the PE teacher. The PE is a physical education teacher, and see, okay, why are we talking about that and how these is related to other sports? And then one of the threats would be the importance of a physical education, physical activity for our health.
teamwork,
Pardon, Santi?
teamwork, maybe.
Teamwork, right? How to work in teamwork and all that. So whatever you think about it, right? Always think about the content from the subject content and how that content will help kids grow, not only as regards knowledge, but as people, as persons. Okay?
Right.
Okay. Any question, any questions as regards this teaching sequence that we have just discussed? Ruben's teaching sequence. No? I want to show you, wait a minute. For example, this is some, I mean, some other, I mean, some material, other material, sorry, about, right? Ruben also considered using this book in his project, right? It's called In the Tall, Tall Grass. You can search for it in the internet, right? And then he also decided to work with creepy crawlies. Creepy crawlies is a section of the Osborne First Encyclopedia of Animals, right? And so have a look at what the kids did, right? This has to do with other skills, right? It's not just language. So, for example, I see, and then a ladybug. Preposition, the grass, right? In the grass, behind the grass, or what? So I see a bunny, right? So this is very nice, isn't it? This is done based on or using creepy crawlers, sorry. This is another one, right? Has to do with art. And this is an app from a reading response journal. So kids need to take a picture and then write a very short sentence like, I can see a nasty big bug and a beautiful butterfly. Yes, this is a little bit more elaborated. Okay, we are not going to do this. Now, I also included some more texts that you might want to include in a project about bugs, like for example, this one, lazy ladybird. And you can use the pictures. There's no need for you to use a whole book. You can use these pictures and these 4 lines. Okay, work with that. And then you might ask them to, I don't know, go to the yard. If the school has a yard, go to the yard, try to find a ladybird, right? Do they know what kind of insect is that? Have they seen one before, right? So let's start talking about their previous knowledge about the subject too. Okay, so here's one possibility. Another possibility, this you might find in internet, for them to color, right? This is with little kids, right? Poetry, right? 100 feet ahead. You can work with poetry, and you see, have a look at this poem. It's very simple, right? I've a centripetal body. I've 100 feet in all. I can move about like lightning. I don't have to creep or crawl. I can dash about the greenhouse. I can dart without a thought. I'm so quick to seize my quarry. I don't know what is being caught. See, so you see, it's very short, and you can work with the pictures. And by using these kind of text, by using these material, people, you are adding to your language lessons. You are not just talking about, I can. What can you do? I can jump. And you, what can you, and then ask your companions, right? Work in pairs, ask and answer. And the only thing that kids do is, what can you do, right? Can you jump? Can you fly? Right? And here you are, I mean, you can even concentrate on genre, poetry. Am I clear? Can you see a clear class in this? But this is another poetry, right? The flea circus, cat fleas, rat fleas, hedgehogs, and bird. Well, right? This is going to be recorded. And then if you want them, please ask me and I'll send it to you, okay? Questions? I want to see if you have questions so far. No? Is clear, and clear as a conception of, as an approach, a little bit clearer to you now? Do you understand what we expect? I mean, what's expected from us as teachers, right? When we work with CLIL. Sure.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good. Okay, because I mean, to tell you the truth, I was so worried with our one of the last comments, right? The last classes, right? From your comments, right? So I just wanted to be sure that you get what is expected from you. And besides, people, there's, I mean, you are going to be, or you are going to witness big changes in education. Next year is not going to be a traditional year. I mean, this has not been a traditional year as regards education. Imagine what's coming. Big changes are coming, and you need to be agents of change, right? So we are relying on you, all right? We are relying on you. Okay, so shall we continue a little bit more with the, let's see, where is it? Here. Let's see what I prepared for what's next. To tell you the truth, I do not want to include more topics, right? I'm not going to include assessment and any other topics. Then I'm going to discuss this with Ceci. So Ceci, next year, Ceci might work with you, right? Or with me together, and she's going to deal with that topic, okay? Because I really want you to feel sure about all the concepts and ideas and all the theoretical underpinnings that we discussed during this very short course, okay? So if you do not have any questions, right, let's see the idea of how to use genres in the classroom. Remember that genre theory has to do with helping kids handle different genres. So what are the genres that kids deal with in the classroom? What are the genres that kids deal with at home? Do you think that they complement? Do you think that there is a kind of overlapping as regards genre? What do you think? What's your idea? Are the genres that they deal at school and at home completely different, or do they overlap?
I think that it depends on the context, right? The kids.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, I don't think we have encyclopedias. So I used to read them at home. But I can't deny that there are some houses in which students or kids are used to be in contact with these kinds of texts.
Okay.
Perhaps
For
because
example,
of
okay, Didi, think about this.
their families or this size.
It's not. I mean, I couldn't listen to you. Oh.
Now, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better. It's better.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. My question.
Okay. I was saying that.
Yes. Say it. Say it.
Okay. I was saying that I think that it depends on the context and in each case, because some students may have the opportunity to read encyclopedias at home, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a reality. I don't think that some kids have or are used to be in contact with encyclopedias.
Good.
Perhaps because of economic situations, or perhaps because they or their families, their parents are not interested in investing in encyclopedias.
Okay, definitely.
But I think it depends on the context.
Okay, good, Didi. That's a very good point. Yes, that's a very good point. What else? What else can you say, people?
Okay, as regard the choosing of different genres, I think it's also important to have very good objectives in mind in order to choose a type of genre
Okay.
to use in class.
Okay, very good. Well, I mean, let's think of the genres that kids encounter at home,
Okay,
right?
at home.
Like, for
Yeah.
example, Andre, think about your son. What kind of genres do your son, don't think about school, just the ones that he uses, sorry, at home. What genres, what text do they use at homes? I mean, kids.
Okay, stories,
Okay, stories.
narratives,
Okay,
or
okay. What else? What else?
okay, I am.
What else? What do you think? Reni, Hernan, Eileen, think about little kids, or think about you as a kid. What else? What other genres did you use at home?
My little brother
Songs.
is
I don't know.
all the time watching videos.
Okay, all right. Videos, right? Somebody says songs. Okay. What else? Any other possibility? Who has kids apart from Andrea here? Andrea, you are the only one?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. So, Andre, do you go to the supermarket with your son?
Not now, but yes.
But, let's see, did you used to go
Yes,
to the
I
supermarket?
used to go.
Okay, you used to go to the supermarket with your son. Okay, did you have a list of all the items you were going to?
Yes.
Yes. And did your son sometimes have that list for you and read that list for you?
Now we are trying to do because he start reading.
Okay, that's it. So
No.
supermarket lists are a genre kids, right? That's
Yeah.
a genre kids learn at home. Supermarket
Okay.
lists are not taught at school. They are taught at home by you, by parents, by big brothers and sisters. Okay?
But we can use it for a class if we want.
Definitely, people. Imagine if we are dealing with a class that has to do with, I don't know, the food chain, the pyramid, right, of the food chain, right? You don't have to give them, I don't know, a paragraph to read about food chain, but you can give them a list of food, right? And then there you're working with listing, right? And classifying and, I don't know, recognizing, right, healthy and unhealthy food, and then place them in a pyramid, and you're working with that. Am I clear, right? So even a listen, you know what this? This is a post-it, right? These are post-its. Post-its are also genres, right?
Yes.
So if
Anna,
yes,
what about recipes?
definitely,
Some kids love cooking with their mothers, and they are
definitely,
used to.
definitely. People, the supermarket here. I went to the supermarket today, right? Okay, you can see. Oh, so this is another genre that you can use with the kids, right? This is a genre from home. You can bring it, right, from home to our classrooms. Okay, good. Any other?
Perhaps when we use a cell phone to send messages, and there is another
There you
genre.
are. There you are. Very good. Very good. So, people, our communication is going to break, right? So let's try to use the same link, right, to reconnect again. If the link doesn't work, I'm going to schedule another one and send it to Andres through WhatsApp, okay? But if not, let's try first to use the link we are using now, okay? Because I want to show you, right, how to work with genres, with this encyclopedia. And then your final work, your final assignment is going to be based on this, okay?
Okay.
Yes?
Mhm.
Good. So let's try to use the same link to see if we can come to the class again.